Hey, what is up guys? You're watching Epic Pokemon TCG, and in this video guys, I'm going to be showing you a starting list for Golisopod Zoroark. This is a list that you guys can pick up and start testing and make adjustments how you feel is necessary. So yeah, this would have been up a lot sooner, but these were just an absolute pain to get here on Pokemon TCG Online, because essentially there were so many people wanting to just trade a single Golisopod for a Tapu Lele, and I'm not doing that. But I did luck out with these four, and this list only plays 3, but still, I lucked out and got them, so we're going to go ahead and get into the video. Golisopod, of course, one of the brand new cards out of Burning Shadows, has the attack First Impression for 30, and if this Pokemon was on the bench and became your active Pokemon this turn, this attack does 90 more damage. So essentially, at 1 grass, you do 120, and this deck is filled with all kinds of stuff to make it your active Pokemon again. And if you have a choice band on it, that's 150 for 1 energy, which is actually really freaking good. Next up, it has Armor Press for 100 during your opponent's next turn. This Pokemon takes 20 less damage from attacks. And then, of course, Crossing Cut GX for 150. If you throw a choice band on there, that is 180, which is really good in a lot of different situations. And you switch this Pokemon with one of your bench Pokemon, and it just gets it out of the active spot, gets it out of harm's way, forcing them to have a Guzma, and yeah, just pretty sweet. But we also play Wimpod with the ability Wimp Out during your first turn. This Pokemon has no retreat cost. If this is up in the active spot, you just don't feel comfortable at all having it there, and of course it is your first turn, then you can just retreat it and promote something else like, Zorua, Oranguru, or Tapu Koko, which is the next card we'll cover after Zoroark. But yeah, we played 3 Zoroark, probably easily my favorite stage 1 from the Primal Clash On era. Ever since this card came out until probably Golisopod, this has been my favorite stage 1, still easily in my top 5. But it has the ability to stand in once during your turn before you attack. If this Pokemon is on your bench, you may switch this Pokemon with your active Pokemon, which has obvious synergy with the first attack, First Impression. And of course, if you have Floatstone, that just allows you to stand in and then free retreat as you like. And this will help you with special conditions, and like I said, it'll help you get First Impression going pretty consistently. And on top of that, it'll just get something out of the active spot that might be stuck, which is really good. Also, I found that this card does help out with the Volcanion matchup. I will not lie to you guys. That is a very, very tough matchup because, well, Golisopod just really can't do much, and it's not hard for a Volcanion, just even a regular Volcanion, to do a ton of damage and potentially even knock it out. So that's something to note there. But Zoroark would Mind Jack. Normally, these Volcanion decks have a pretty big bench because, they're using Brooklet Hill and they're, using Tapu Lele and just whatever, so they'll usually have a pretty big bench. So Mind Jack 10 plus and then 30 for each of your opponent's bench Pokemon. That could be a huge attack, and especially with Choice Band, you have the potential to do a decent amount of damage and kind of stay in the game. But it's still overall very, very tough matchup. But we also run Tapu Koko. The free retreat on this card is extremely nice, but it also has Flying Flip. This attack does 20 damage to each of your opponent's Pokemon. Of course, you don't apply weakness and resistance. But yeah, the 20, if you're able to do that a couple times, it'll just allow you to get easier knockouts with Golisopod. And with the free retreat, like I said, it's just going to allow you to use First Impression's ability to get the extra 90 a lot easier. And then, of course, we have a Oranguru with Instruct. Once during your turn before you attack, you may draw until you have 3 cards in your hand. If you do get hit by N and you get brought down to a low hand size, Instruct will help bail you out of that. And, maybe you can draw a clutch card that'll get you back in the game. And also has a very solid attack. Well, it's Psychic. You do 60 and then 20 more times the amount of energy attached to your opponent's active Pokemon. So that's pretty good. And lastly, we're going to cover Tapu Lele GX with Wonder Tag. Basically, whenever you play Tapu Lele onto your bench, you may search your deck for a supporter, reveal it, and you put it in your hand. This is pretty much just going to allow you to grab a lot of the supporters here. Pretty much all of them. It is all of them. What am I talking about? And I'll cover them here in a second, but it also has Energy Draft for 20 times, and basically just does 20 times the amount of energy attached to both active Pokemon. This is just another attacker you guys can have, and we do play DCE in the deck, so it is something to note. Tapu Lele is a pretty strong card, I'm not going to lie, not just the ability but the attack itself, and it has helped me a lot with this deck. So let's see, what can we cover first? I'm just going to go generic. Sycamore, I only play 3 just because of the fact that really discarding stuff with this deck can be extremely just hurtful. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that you just need in here for the match as it goes on. So I went with 3 and 4 in. I really like 4 in right now with this new format coming up. I've been testing the new format like crazy, and I found that I like a high amount of in just because, just a solid supporter, and late game it can be very devastating to your opponent. Also trying a Lily. I know that some people aren't too big on Lily. I love Lily. It's just, yeah, it's either that or like Shauna or something. So I'm still testing, see how I like the supporter count in here, but we do run one Lily. And then, of course, we run a Skyla. Skyla is just going to allow you to grab stuff like Max Potion, Floatstone, Choice Band, and just whatever you might need. So Acerola is a card that is going to help out a lot with Golisopod's first attack. On top of that, when you if you're being really aggressive with just like a first impression approach with Golisopod, you can just pick up Golisopod and then bring up another one and attach that one grass energy and maybe a Floatstone or Choice Band, whatever you might have on there. And not only does it prevent your opponent from getting a knockout, but it also allows you to set up first impression. So Acerola is a very, very strong card in here. And for the most part, everything in this deck pretty much takes one attachment if you look at it. Of course, if you're, using even these second attacks, if you have a Golisopod up with a grass and a DCE, you can still promote something that can attack most likely. And so, yeah, pretty much everything in here, well, besides the Rangaroo, it takes one attachment. So Acerola is a very strong card. Bridget is extremely clutch. I cannot stress this enough how good this card is. I am actually considering even running 2 in here. That's why I got that second one right there. But, yeah, just being able to grab like 2 Wimpod and a Zorua turn 1 is so huge. Even a Tapu Koko, you can, like turn 1, you can bridge it, retreat your Wimpod, bring up Tapu Koko, and then your Wimpod's out of harm's way. Bridget is so good in here. Another card that is extremely good in here, of course, is going to be Guzma. I think in the game and show, he owns a Golisopod, if I remember correctly. And this card could not be any more perfect for Golisopod. Jesus Christ. So basically what this does is allows you to get a Lysander effect, but it also allows you to switch your active with your bench, which extremely plays into first impression. So essentially you're getting a chance to bring up something, whatever you want, and then switch into a Golisopod and do 120 to 150 with it, which is so good. And yeah, Guzma definitely had to run 3 in here. That's just such a perfect card for this deck. And yeah, it just plays perfectly in the Golisopod and how it plays. We're also running a Rescue Stretcher. I kind of want to bump this to 2, but then I kind of don't. But it has put a Pokemon for your discard pile into your hand. This is a very popular play, of course, with Tapu Lele. But it also allows you to shuffle 3 Pokemon from your discard pile into your deck, so you can just grab whatever might be in the discard pile if you need to shuffle some stuff back in there. And that's why that's in here. Floatstone is an extremely important tool in this deck because it allows you to have a Pokemon with no retreat cost. So it allows you to free retreat your Golisopod, and don't put it on this. But it allows you, like I said earlier, to stand in and free retreat how you like. And of course, it just pretty much gives all your Pokemon free retreat. So if a Golisopod does go down, you can bring up something with a Floatstone or even attach a Floatstone to something, retreat it, and then you'll get first impressions effect and get that extra 90 damage. And I already went over Choice Band, just allows you to get some extra damage. Max Potion is a very big card in here, kind of similar to what Acerola does. Even if you have to discard your energy and you're going aggressive with like a first impression, or even if you do have a grass and a DCE on it, you only need 1 grass to start attacking again. So Max Potion is not too bad. I actually took 1 out. I was really running 3, but it just got a little too clunky, and I cannot remember what I put in here over that. Might have been the Lily. It might have been. I don't remember. But yeah. Next up, Ultra Ball. Pretty much if Tapu Lele is in your deck, you have a supporter. Just allows you to grab anything you might need. Field Blower. Get rid of those stadiums and those pesky tools that you might not want in your opponent's Pokemon. And I think that's about it besides the 8 grass and the 4 DC. Don't really need to explain too much for those. But yeah, the premise of this deck is very simple. Golisopod has first impression. And then you have, Zoroark, you have Tapu Koko, Floatstone, you have Guzma. You have all kinds of stuff to pretty much allow you to promote Golisopod into the active spot, get first impression, and then you have Armor Press and Crossing Cut GX to fall back on from just some more attacks that do huge damage. The deck is very easy to play. You just have to pace yourself out and make sure that you're not promoting a Wimpod and evolving. You have to make sure that you have a Golisopod ready on your bench, just all that stuff. But overall, very fun deck to play. It does struggle against some stuff, and I gotta say that I'm hoping I can get this list a little better, and practice a little bit more with it, because this is a really fun deck. I really enjoy playing it, and I figured I would just go ahead and cover it. So if you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe if you're not subscribed, and I apologize if you did not like this video. You know, I just post starting list, so yeah, if you didn't, I'm sorry, but maybe, you know, stick around, you'll like the next video hopefully. But take care guys, I love you, and give this deck a try. It's a lot of fun. And this is Epic Pokemon TCG signing out. Take care guys.